Okay, hey, it's Dave. Doing working in the bee yard. I don't generally wear this hat for just fun. It's pretty hot. And we've worked through all the hives except for the one that we're covering that we have talked about, and it's right here. Let me turn you there. You can see it's quite healthy, doing very well. Now, I know I said I'd bring you along for the entire ride, so full disclosure. About 2 weeks ago, I had not been out here and I knew that they were getting cramped. So I came out, did not video it, but if you look, that green box on top, literally, I took the lid off, I dropped that green box on, and I put the lid back on. Maybe 2.5 weeks ago. It was after 4th of July, but it's certainly been at least 2 weeks ago, and today's July 30th, so somewhere in that time frame. So this is the first time I've opened them up to look at them. We've got another box that we're going to probably be adding on, depending on how well they filled this one. We'll just have to see. So stick around, and I'll see you in a second. Alright, welcome back. I got you right over top the hive. I think you're pretty much going to be looking straight down into it. Hopefully. That's why I'm trying to work it. So we pop the lid. And already I can see there's no activity right here, or very little bee activity right here, which is going to tell me that this upper box that I put on probably doesn't have a lot going on in it. Well, look at them showing me off to be wrong. Look at all that comb they built. So they're doing better than I thought they'd be up here. I'll have to, this is the inner cover. Basically just keeps that big outer cover from being glued down by the bees, so you never get it off. We'll scrape all this off. Probably just be off camera. I mean, it's just, I scrape it off, I save it, and we melt it down and get the wax out of it. So that's that. All right, but we're going to look at some frames here. Now you notice I didn't smoke the bees, and we'll see how this goes. The bees have been very docile. Remember, this is not the first hive I've checked this morning. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th hive I've checked this morning. Okay, so here's a frame that I put in. Like I said, I mean, I cannot see. Hopefully you're seeing this. I cannot see a thing that I'm showing you between the sun and the angle of the camera. But they really haven't done much with it. That's pretty much the way these found what they're called foundations. They have wax on them, and the bees make the cells from that, and they really haven't done much of anything. I'll show you. I can see this next one. They've built out a little bubble here, and I guess this is annoying to them, but if you can see, so, and the colors of the foundations are just preference. They come black and yellow. There's really not an issue, any difference between the two. Although if you're using black in your brood chamber down the bottom where the queen's laying eggs in these cells, not just collecting honey, the black ones, it's easier to look in there and see the white egg. It'll be like a little tiny standing upright, and then it'll lay down. But with the black cells, I'm getting old. My eyes aren't great, but I find that they, go on, I don't want to hurt you, go. I find that the black ones are easier to see the eggs in. So what we're looking at is, this has all been pretty much untouched right here. The bees haven't done much. But see this little rise here, this little white area? That's the bees drawing the comb out. They're drawing the comb out, and they're they'll draw it up, raise it up, and then that will create the pocket that they can either lay eggs in. See this side too? See how the difference between the white and the black? They can lay eggs in that, store honey in it, store pollen, whatever it is they want to do. And that's the these foundations are the basis for the whole, what they're doing in here. So, pulled those two out. I'm not sure I'm going to pull every single one out, just because they all kind of look to be about more of the same. But I am going to pull this one out because, man, you can see they're all over it. So I do, right? Yeah, I have a queen excluder on this hive, which means that the queen cannot be up in this section where I am. And so that's pretty good activity on this hive. And they made some comb. Give them a shake here, you'll see. So they made some comb on the bottom, kind of some funky comb, what I call wonky comb. And they are trying to store honey in that. So we're going to cut that off. And I have a bucket over here. I'll be just off camera. And we just scrape that into the bucket. And I leave the bucket out here for a day or so. And the bees take back whatever they can, whatever they want. There we go. So see, now we've cleaned all that off. So we're going to put that back on. I'm looking down in here, and really most of the rest of these top frames really don't look any different. If you saw, I don't know when this video is going to air because it's got to be edited, but I did a quickie video. It'll probably been 4 or 5 days ago that it'll air compared to this one. And I talked about checkerboarding, where we alternate frames that are empty between two boxes. So you have one box, let's say you have one box full of honey. The other box is pretty empty, or you just put it on. What you do is pull some of those frames from that full box up and put them in the empty box, and you do every other one. So empty, full, empty, full, empty, full, if you have obviously the correct number of frames or enough frames. And what that does is it pulls bees into both boxes, and it makes them start working both boxes. It doesn't make them, it motivates them or triggers them, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And they'll start working honey in both boxes, and the idea is then they produce more honey. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pull this box off, and I'm going to see what this next box down looks like, and if it's got a lot in it, then we're going to checkerboard this one as well. And this one looks like it's doing pretty good. Give me a second, I'm going to adjust you up. Alright, I've adjusted you some. I apologize if you can't see right down in it, but I can actually see the camera a little easier now. So I can see what I'm showing you. Now these bees, I gotta tell you, they've been fantastic, but I am gonna smoke them just a little bit, just to get them off all this comb on the top, just lightly. I don't wanna, so I can scrape that off. I don't wanna leave that comb on there, because as time wears on, they just keep building it, and then it becomes a nightmare to get the boxes and the frames apart. So we got all the comb off there. Now we are going to pull, and I got to tell you, I'm going to tip you forward just so you can be sure. Look at this frame right here. So I clean that comb off the top, which exposes honey. They'll recap it. So that's not a big deal. But look at the amount of honey on that frame. That is just colossal. Same with there. Look at that right there. Those are going to be big. And as far as checkerboarding goes, I definitely do not want to pull those, because if I try to pull that and open it up and pull that apart, rip that up, honey's going to just go everywhere, all over the inside of the hive. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is slip over here, because I see this one's pretty good, but it's not just busting with honey like that other one was. And I'm going to pull that one. Ugh. Yeah, rolling bees. They don't like that. I don't like that. Okay. But here we go. See that? Full. There, you've got that. It's looking beautiful. I could pull that now, but I'm really not set up to right now. So I'm just going to leave it. But what I am going to do is we're going to drop some of these full ones up top here. And I've got the other box here. And you'll see what I'm doing. So we're going to take an empty one from that other box and we're going to drop it back in there. But I'm not going to do it quite yet because I want to leave myself some room here. So this isn't true checkerboarding. True checkerboarding is every other. Dot, 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 dot. I'm not doing that because I don't want to disturb these couple frames that are just burdened with honey. But we're going to just mix and match them up. Again, nothing wrong there. Absolutely nothing wrong there. So we're going to put that over here in the empty box. Let me shake them off. I put it in that box, so I'm going to roll them. Rolling them between frames is far worse than shaking them off. Alright. I got one more empty here. Let's see if we can find a spot for it. Alright. So, I'm going to put an empty here. And that's where there's a big rift of honey. I don't want to fool with that. So I'm going to put another empty there. And then over here, I'm going to smoke these bees again, like I said, just to get them off this top so I can see what I'm doing. They really, all the bees today, all the hives so far have been very gentle, very well mannered. That is always good. I mean, I know I'm wearing a beekeeper suit and everything, but man, when they're just pelting off the face of the mask of the hood, it kind of makes for a long day after a while. All right, so we're going to ease that one out. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there's just this one. We picked a good one to follow. So hopefully you can see that. And get the shadow off of it. There you go. And there you go. All right, so that's 3 with honey, full of honey, that we put at the top. I'm going to drop these empty frames in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I got one more somewhere. Where is it? Oh, it's here somewhere. Okay. All right, I'm missing a frame. What did I do? Did y'all see where I put it? Tell me. Tell me in the comments. Because I don't see a frame here. And I really need that other frame. Huh. Well, I'll be. Well, doesn't that kind of stink? I know it didn't run away. I suppose it's possible. I didn't pay attention. I didn't count them, but I may have only 9 frames in this box, which you can do. It just means that the bees will build the comb out wider, and I suppose that makes sense why those 2 boxes have so much built out on them. So this is a 9-frame box, so it's not a big deal. We got to take the other box though, and we're going to put it on top of it. I'll put it back on. Now, this time of year, I do faster inspections. With the number of bees that are going on here, I don't think there's any question that there's a vibrant queen in the bottom who is laying plenty of eggs. That's not an issue. So I'm not going to go down in there and disturb her. Now, if I had a hive that was low on bees, that I thought was being robbed, you know, we'd get in there and find out what's going on. This hive is, you saw from the front, or you will see, depending on how my son edits it, there's plenty of bees. They're crowded on the front, they're trying to get in, and I've got all the entrances wide open. So, that is that for today. I did have another box to add, but I'm not going to add it because I don't feel like those are full enough. Okay, we're about 20 yards away from the hives, and I had to get this jacket off and go on. And took the jacket off and got promptly stung right on the top of my bald head. So it is what it is. It happens. Oh, whew, it's still hot. A bee jacket is, I mean, I know you all can see they're incredibly stylish, but they definitely don't breathe well. And so that was that. So the I had hoped for it to be a fuller, the hive that we checked, the one that we've been following. I did have another hive that was like that, 2 other hives really, that I had thrown boxes onto them real quick several weeks ago, and the bees really did not come up into the hive. So those boxes, they didn't rise up into those boxes and start filling them with honey. So I checkerboarded the ones I could, and I got to keep an eye on them, and I'm hoping to get back out here next week, see if that makes a difference with them drawing the comb out. That's the main thing. Once they get that comb drawn out, then it's off to the races. So it does take a lot of energy for bees to draw comb out. We are in the height of summer. They're bringing in a lot of pollen, which means they're bringing in a lot of nutrients, and I know they're well fed right now. So I think it's just a little more time, and we hopefully will get some fall honey and still have some fall honey to leave them. I feed them in the winter or in the fall, but I do like to leave them some honey on. Some people don't. I do. I figure they earned it. I'll take what I need and leave them the rest. I'm not real greedy about it, even though I do sell it. I want to be sure they're taken care of. So that's that. That's our 3rd or 4th check in the hive. I can't remember. Probably should have more. Probably don't have enough time, as is always my lament. But we're doing the best we can. And like you, hopefully, I'm staying safe, staying prepared, and I'll see you on the next video. You have a good one, and I will see you then.